Just say the name, Area 51. What comes to mind? Probably aliens, right? Maybe captured UFOs. For decades, this place has been at the absolute center of some of the wildest conspiracy theories out there. But what if I told you the real story? The one they're hiding behind all those fences and armed guards is actually way more incredible than the fiction. Let's dive in and see what's really going on out there in the Nevada desert.
So you've got to wonder, is this really the most secret place on the entire planet? Well, when you see the insane lengths they go to protect it, it's kind of hard to argue. This isn't just some military base. It's what's known as a black site. It is a complete and total blind spot on the map, and that's on purpose. It's designed from the ground up to keep its secrets from, well, everyone.
There's this saying that just perfectly sums up how locked down this place is. Not even a bird can set foot here. And look, that's not just some clever phrase. It's a dead serious reflection of the level of security they've got going on.
All right, so to really understand the mystery, we have to start with the place itself. Let's call it what it is, the Forbidden Zone. Just try to picture this. You're deep in the Nevada desert, 250 kilometers. That's over 150 miles from the closest city. The only way in is this long, desolate highway with absolutely nothing on it. And if you even think about stepping over that line, the signs make it crystal clear. Guards have the green light to use lethal force, no questions asked. This crazy level of isolation, it's not an accident. It's the whole point.
So with that kind of secrecy, it's really no wonder that the most famous story about Area 51 was born. It's time to get into the one you've been waiting for, the alien theory.
This whole legend didn't just pop up out of nowhere, right? It was built piece by piece, over decades. It all kicks off at 1947 with the very first flying saucer sighting. Then, just a few weeks later, boom, the Roswell crash. The whole thing goes pretty quiet for about 30 years until 1978, when an intelligence officer from the Roswell base, Jesse Marcel, gives this bombshell interview. Then the final piece of the puzzle slots into place in 1989 when a physicist named Bob Lazar goes public, claiming he personally worked on alien ships at Area 51.
And this right here, this is the quote that just blew the whole story wide open. Jesse Marcel, the first military guy to actually handle the Roswell debris, said, plain as day, that debris was not of this earth. I mean, coming from an insider, a military intelligence officer, his words gave the alien theory a shot of credibility it never, ever had before.
And he wasn't the only one. Over the years, other so-called insiders came out of the woodwork with some absolutely incredible claims. You had Boyd Bushman, a senior scientist, who said on his deathbed he'd worked with actual aliens. Then there's Bill Uhouse, who talked about reverse engineering UFOs and even communicating with an alien pilot. And of course, Bob Lazar, giving super detailed accounts of working on alien propulsion at a secret site nearby called S4. Now, the government denied it all, but these stories, they just refused to go away.
But maybe the most chilling story of all came from a nurse who was working at the Roswell base. She supposedly told a friend that she accidentally walked into an examination room and saw doctors working on these small, non-human bodies. Only 3 or 4 feet tall, she said, with huge heads and these giant eyes. And it's really that story that fuels the belief that the bodies and the wreckage were all secretly shipped off to Area 51 to be studied in secret.
Okay, so that's one heck of a story, right? It's compelling, you've got first-hand accounts, strange evidence, but what if the entire thing, the whole alien narrative, is a lie? What if it's all part of a very calculated deception? This is where the story takes a really fascinating turn.
I want you to think about this for a second. What if the government wanted everyone to believe in aliens at Area 51? What if all the UFO stories weren't some problem they had to deal with, but were actually the perfect solution for them? What on earth could they be hiding that would need a cover story that incredible? Well, the answer, believe it or not, has nothing to do with outer space. It has everything to do with a very real war right here on Earth. To find the truth, we need to step back into the shadow of the Cold War.
Okay, check this out, because the timing is, well, it's everything. Before World War II, you just don't find widespread reports of flying saucers. It wasn't really a thing. But after 1945, and especially after 1947, they suddenly explode onto the scene. All over the world, but most of the sightings were happening right here in the US. That is a very, very suspicious historical coincidence.
And this is where it all clicks into place. Imagine you're on the ground. You see something flying way higher and way faster than any plane you've ever seen or even heard of. So what do you call it? A UFO, right? An unidentified flying object. But what people were most likely seeing was a top-secret test flight of a brand-new spy plane, something like the U-2 or the SR-71 Blackbird, planes designed and tested in total secrecy at Area 51.
Okay, but what about the Roswell crash? I mean, that's the big one, the cornerstone of the whole myth. Well, decades later, in 1994, the US Air Force finally declassified the truth. The wreckage wasn't from a spaceship. It was from something called Project Mogul, a top-secret program that used high-altitude balloons with special sensors to listen for Soviet nuclear tests. So the original weather balloon story? It wasn't completely wrong, just not the whole truth, and definitely not from another planet.
This gets us to the most important question. Why lie? Why all the deception? Well, think about it. It's the middle of the Cold War. The government can't just come out and say, oh yeah, we're testing revolutionary spy planes to fly over the Soviet Union, or we're using balloons to spy on their nukes. That would have been a massive national security disaster. An alien story, though, that's the perfect distraction.
So the CIA's strategy was simple, but honestly, kind of brilliant. Step 1, never ever confirm the alien stories. Step 2, never fully deny them either. Step 3, just let the rumors run wild. Let the conspiracy theories grow. And step 4, use all that public obsession with aliens as the perfect cover to test your most advanced, most secret military tech. While everyone was looking up at the stars for little green men, the real secrets were flying right over their heads. So, that brings us to today. After all these declassified reports and explanations, how does the legend of Area 51 hold up? Well, you could argue it's stronger now than it has ever been.
2 million. That's the mind-boggling number of people who signed up on Facebook to storm Area 51 back in 2019. Now, yeah, it started as a joke, an internet meme, but that number tells you everything you need to know about how powerful and deep this legend still runs.
So in the end, yeah, only a few thousand people actually showed up, and the raid basically turned into this kind of chill alien-themed festival. But get this, and this is the key detail, the government still took it seriously enough to deploy special forces to the area. Even an internet joke about storming Area 51 gets a real-world military response.
So here's the thing. The Cold War is over. The U-2 and the Blackbird are sitting in museums. And yet, Area 51 is just as busy and just as secret as it ever was. Which leaves us with one last, really fascinating question. If the alien story was the perfect cover for Cold War tech, what secrets are they hiding there today?